Hello, my dear students. In the last class, we have already discussed about various types of non-covalent interaction. Today, we are going to discuss about structure of protein and DNA. We know protein structures are made by condensation of amino acids forming peptide bonds. That is, a protein is a polymer of amino acid joined by peptide bonds. There are four levels of protein structure. These are primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. The sequence of amino acid in a protein is called its primary structure. The secondary structure is determined by the dihedral angles of the peptide bonds. The tertiary structure by the folding of protein chains in space. Association of folded polypeptide molecules to complex functional proteins results in quaternary structure. Peptide bond is formed between the amine group of one molecule of amino acid and the carboxyl group of the adjacent molecule of amino acid, followed by the elimination of a water molecule. The peptide bond is also known as amide linkage. When peptide bonds are established among more than 10 amino acids, they together form a polypeptide chain. When a polypeptide chain has a mass exceeding 10,000 U and the number of amino acids in the chain exceeding 100, we get a protein. Firstly, we can discuss about primary structure of protein. It is the exact ordering of amino acids forming their chains. The number of polypeptide chains together form proteins. These chains have amino acids arranged in a particular sequence, which is characteristics of the specific protein. Any change in the sequence changes the entire protein. The exact sequence of the proteins is very important as it determines the final fold and therefore the function of the protein. The figure represents the primary structure of a protein. Next, we can discuss about secondary structure of protein. Here, polypeptide chains usually fold due to the interaction between the amine and carboxyl group of the peptide link. The structure refers to the shape in which a long polypeptide chain can exist. They are found to exist in two different types of structures, alpha helix and beta pleated sheet structures. This structure arises due to the regular folding of the backbone of the polypeptide chain due to hydrogen bonding between CO group and NH group of the peptide bond. The segments of the protein chain may acquire their own local fold, which is much simpler and usually takes the shape of a spiral, an extended shape, or a loop. These local folds are termed secondary elements and form the protein's secondary structure. We know there are two types of secondary structures, alpha helix and beta pleated sheet. Alpha helix is one of the most common way in which a polypeptide chain forms all possible hydrogen bonds by twisting into a right-handed screw, with the NH group of each amino acid residue hydrogen bonded to the CO of the adjacent turn of the helix. The polypeptide chains twisted into a right-handed screw. The curls are called alpha helices, and it almost look like a spiral staircase or a spring. They exist when a protein's backbone curls up into a helical shape. In the beta pleated sheet, the polypeptide chains are stretched out beside one another and then bonded by intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Here, all peptide chains are stretched out to nearly maximum extension and then laid side by side, which is held together by intermolecular hydrogen bonds. The structure resembles the pleated folds of drapery and therefore it is known as beta pleated sheet. The rows are called beta pleated sheets and almost look like a long line for a ride at an amusement park. They exist when a protein's backbone forms an extended zigzag structure that passes back and forth. Next, we can discuss about tertiary structure of protein. This structure arises from further folding of the secondary structure of the protein. Hydrogen bonds, electrostatic forces, disulfide linkages, and van der Waals forces stabilize the structure. The tertiary structure of proteins represents overall folding of the polypeptide chains, further folding of the secondary structure. It gives rise to two major molecular shapes called fibrous and globular. In this figure, hydrogen bond, disulfide bridges, ionic bond, hydrophobic interactions are seen in the tertiary structure. We know there are a number of forces that drive tertiary structure. For example, when a protein is surrounded by water, hydrophobic amino acids will move away from the water and bury themselves in the center of the protein. Whereas the hydrophilic amino acids will interact with the water molecule and thus tend to be located on the outer surface of the protein. Basic amino acids and acidic amino acids create salt bridges or electrostatic interactions to further stabilize the tertiary structure. Cysteines may form a disulfide bridge, further stabilizing the protein. Next, we can discuss about quaternary structure of protein. The spatial arrangement of various tertiary structures give rise to the quaternary structure. Some of the proteins are composed of two or more polypeptide chains referred to as subunits. The spatial arrangement of these subunits with respect to each other is known as quaternary structure. Hemoglobin structure is an example for quaternary protein structure. It is made up of four polypeptide chains alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1 and beta 2. Each chain is attached to a heme group composed of porphyrin attached to an iron atom. In this diagram, all the four levels of protein is shown. Next, we can discuss about DNA. We know DNA is a group of molecules that is responsible for carrying and transmitting the hereditary materials or the genetic instructions from parents to offsprings. DNA is known as deoxyribonucleic acid. It is an organic compound that has a unique molecular structure. It is found in all prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. The double helix structure of a DNA molecule was discovered through the experimental data by James Watson and Francis Crick. This is the structure of DNA. It contains sugar phosphate backbone and nitrogenous bases. The DNA structure is like a twisted ladder. This structure is described as a double helix. DNA is a nucleic acid and all the nucleic acids are made up of nucleotides. The DNA molecule is composed of units called nucleotides and each nucleotide is composed of three different components such as sugar, phosphate groups and nitrogen bases. We know the basic building blocks of DNA are nucleotides which are composed of a sugar group, a phosphate group and a nitrogen bases. The sugar and phosphate group link to the nucleotides together to form each strands of DNA. Adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine are four types of nitrogen bases. Here, the adenine and guanine are purines and cytosine and thymine are pyrimidines. These four nitrogenous bases pair together, that is adenine pair with thymine, cytosine pair with guanine. These base pairs are essential for the DNA's double helix structure, which resembles a twisted ladder. The order of the nitrogenous bases determines the genetic code or the DNA's instructions. Among the three components of DNA structure, sugar is the one which forms the backbone of the DNA molecule. Here the sugar is deoxyribose. The nitrogenous bases of the opposite strands form hydrogen bonds, forming a ladder-like structure. The two strands of DNA run in opposite direction. These strands are held together by the hydrogen bond that is present between the two complementary bases. The strands are helically twisted, where each strand forms a right-handed coil and 10 nucleotides make up a single turn. The pitch of each helix is 3.4 nanometer. That is, the distance between two consecutive base pairs is 0.34 nanometer. This picture clearly explains the structure of DNA. Today we have discussed about the structure of protein and DNA. We have seen that different types of non-covalent interactions are existing in proteins and DNA. In the next class, we will discuss about combinatorial chemistry. Thank you.